So yeah, hey guys, I'm here with a special guest today, actually, with one of my good friends, Krepo, aka Mitch Voorspoels, right?
Close enough.
Close enough. Okay. So of course, people just probably want to know from your perspective. You've been a caster for quite some time, and you've been playing for a lot of the time too, like since the beginning. Is there like any regret maybe of stopping playing, or what's like the transition like from being a player to a caster right now?
Yeah, I made the transition at the start of Summer Split last year, so it's almost been a year now. I started with a lot of work to do, and I've come to realize that I still have a lot of work to do. So like I'm learning to improve little things along the way. You just every time you cast a new game, you discover a new problem that you kind of have to fix. There's a lot less stress involved with casting. That's the main thing. Playing is absolutely stressful, and you can get really depressed at points. But the rewards are way higher. Like there's no such thing comparable to being on stage winning a game. I think you know this too, and just having the crowd like chant your name or be there. Right now you're in a supportive role. You never get the spotlight, but the lows are a lot higher too. You never get really in the deep pit anymore. I do enjoy casting. I see myself hopefully casting for a long time more. I still just have the passion to really improve on a lot of things, whether it's little things like vocal coaching or keeping up with the game, talking to players, maybe maintaining Master Challenger for as long as I can. See you like grinning there? Yeah, nice try. But yeah, all these things kind of go into casting. But it's still a full-time job. That's the only thing I don't, or I wasn't really ready for. I thought quitting playing would open my life up for a little more time. Turns out that casting is still 24/7 league. But I like league, so it's okay.
So yeah, which leads me to my next question, maybe that you answered already, but what is the hardest part about casting right now that you have discovered so far in your 1 year career?
There's a lot of prep that goes into it. If you really want to understand everything that's going on there, all the matches, you got to watch LCK, you got to watch LPL, you got to talk to all the pro players to get their opinions if you can. Something the official is really good at, just gathering all this information here and there and then presenting it. But you also need to learn what to cut, because you can come into a match with maybe 10 things you want to talk about, but if the time's not right for it, you're pushing in stuff that doesn't belong in a cast. And that's something I did especially at the start. I was like, hey guys, look at me, I'm so smart, I know all these 5 things. But sometimes the game doesn't need it. So you need to be flexible and you need to over-prepare. You need to always have something ready. And there's just so much time that goes into it, especially now we work in the office too. Silly things like writing articles, helping each other with little segments. There's so much time that goes into the show that my actual preparation just happens at home. My VOD watching, my playing the game, and just very time consuming.
So of course, you say preparation and everything. Do you like the game right now? I mean, you play a lot of League still right now, and dynamic queues, all that fun. You get a bit deeper into the macro game and everything. But what's the current state of the game in your eyes? I mean, I talked with theFisher about that, and he said, yeah, the meta's maybe a bit boring, like too many picks. Of course, this week is opening up a lot. Like, what's your general take?
I think metas just become boring more quickly every time because teams are just getting better at figuring them out. It took a long time in like season 2 and 3 for people to figure out how to play the game, and they never really did. I feel like every season we start, people figure it out quicker, and there's one style that like kind of emerges. I like the season 6 meta game. I think the vision's interesting. I think blue trinkets kind of force things to slow down in the mid game, because if teams know how to use blue trinkets well, the counter is just so elaborate and takes like 4 minutes to set up, where you have to like remove all vision, they need to trinket in, they need to clear it, and then you have to operate in like the 1 minute time window where all 3 are on cooldown. There's so much room for error, and at one point the enemy team will also do a proactive play and you're back to square one. That's why we see these ARAMs in the mid game, these very long elongated games where teams are very equal. I do like the restriction of wards, so wards need to have like a choice to it. You can't just randomly spam down wards like in season 2, where supports would have like 10 wards in their inventory. It's like, okay, have fun. So I think a lot of it is balanced, but teams are just getting so good at figuring it out. That's why I get so happy when Rumble gets flexed into the jungle and Rammus gets flexed in top, or people find out new ways to play champions. Because there has to be a champion out there that nobody has discovered. Whether it's AP Shaco split push, something like somebody's going to find out that champion, convince a pro player, he's going to bring it to the table, and we will all like adopt it. And I think that's like the beauty of it.
So of course, season 2 back then when you were relevant as a player, right? And season 6 right now when you're a caster. What meta game do you prefer? Would you rather go back in time to season 2 or season 6?
I think going back in time, wouldn't work, because if we put the current like knowledge of players in that meta, it's not because of the balancing or anything that the season 2 meta was like it was. It's just that teams just weren't smart enough to look beyond, hey guys, let's group and team fight, and we just happened to be really good at that, and we had a decent mid laner. So I enjoyed season 2 because that's the only meta where I could win games. So give me season 2 all the way.
All right, so season 6, I think we have seen a lot of jungle changes, AD carry changes, and mid lane changes, especially with the mage reaper coming in right now. What do you think right now is like maybe lacking that the support role needs? I mean, the support role has been like a bit stagnant for like a while right now. Maybe there's like another pick coming in like Bard, but besides that, like the champions are all like the same, right? So what does support need maybe to have like a bit more variety there?
Yeah, I think the support, their role right now just defined is just very heavy on disengage. We see so many Alistar picks because you get rewarded more for stopping the enemy from doing anything than doing something yourself, it feels. And it's incredibly hard and complex, and like, yeah, Bard can do that with the ultimate, but it's so conditional and so reliant on flash. Like Alistar and Bromance are just top tier picks right now. Maybe we can get a way to get mage support back. But looking back in the past, traditionally, whenever we had a really nice mage support, turns out it was a broken mid laner. And that is, I don't see how you can balance support as kind of a damage component where it doesn't hurt your composition overall, where you're not better just stacking tankiness, unless tank items become very inefficient on support for some reason. But then I think that has larger impacts on the metagame overall. Other than that, I think support's in a fine role. I think there's enough champions to play. Thresh isn't really played that much in the high elo because it's so hard. Like in I'm talking like LCS, but it's still a fun challenge to support. So you can play almost every single support too in solo queue, and even in like Master to Challenger tier. It's only in the LCS that it kind of narrows down, where Alistar just gets rewarded for his kit, Braum gets rewarded for his kit. But other than that, I think support and vision is in a pretty good state right now.
All right. So I asked that question the Fisher too about the whole European to North America thing, and it seems to be we have like 4 top teams right now. So do you think that the talent that we lost maybe to North America, like big brand names, is like, yeah, we just fill it up with like new upcoming people? I mean, Perks and Hybrid are like 2 people to name off that are like really good right now and seem to be performing pretty fine.
Yeah, I mean, we can say that we lost some talent and then it just instantly fills up. But for me, it's like that talent was coming in anyways. So Perks and Hybrid were going to come into this season anyways, in that team anyways. So I think it's the Exodus kind of shuffled things around and made our top teams better. But we could have had more. We could have had 4 top teams and apparently had G2 who were very good, and we could have had 5. Yeah. And I hope Europe as a region, infrastructure-wise, just keeps evolving. Somehow, eventually, you know, we need just more money for teams. We need better teams in terms of organizations, infrastructure, knowing a little bit of like what went on behind the scenes in my player years and what I've heard from players. Obviously, there is improvements to be made. That doesn't mean that there's no improvements to be made over in North America. I just want, hopefully, the European scene to level up. And something that I want to try help with, even if there's little things I can do, is try to make the players use social media more, take it a bit more serious, the branding, the streaming. We have like some workshops here in Riot, like every split we get the players here. Hopefully convince 1 or 2 of them that they become a big brand name, and that can in turn maybe bring some more sponsors. It's like a very idle hope. Obviously, a lot of people have flocked to North America where there's seemingly a lot of like venture capital money coming in. But yeah, I think Europe will always have talent. I'm a little sad that we will lose talent and have to refill it instead of kind of filling up the league entirely. But that's just the nature of the game. I'm really happy though with the top teams right now in Europe, how it's distributed. I mean, H2K with the roster swaps is fantastic. Vitality is kind of emerging right now too. Unicorn surprised, and then G2 completely blew me away. Did not expect that at all. And I think if you would have asked me before the split, do you want like 4 really good teams? Oh yeah, by the way, Fnatic and Origin is not in that list. I'd be like, okay, give me.
All right, fair enough. So last question, a bit more personal. I heard you have like a little bromance with the Fisher going on. Yeah, what do you want to say about that? Maybe.
Yeah, that's purely professional, Marcel. Our bromance will always be the pleasure.
Good. All right. So, last words for your fans. I mean, you stream a lot still. I know you are like very active on social media. Sometimes a bit too salty, but that's fine. You know, here and there, things learn out of their mistakes, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I've actually omitted a lot of salty tweets. I've went back. Sometimes one slips through. It's unlucky, as they say. No, it's what you learn going on. I just like I like streaming still. I don't. I just do it for fun, and I really hope I can inspire other people too. Because that's what I tell the players too. I'm like, if a shitty player like me could become a brand, and get a job in esports. Why can't you? What? And then I just, if they like doubt them, I was like, was I better than you? And then you can see the spark there.
But not everyone is as good at the on the camera as you, right?
Yeah, they no, they can get there easy. It's just acting. But no, I like streaming. Thanks for all the fans that still follow me from playing. Leave feedback in a respectful manner, and I always read it. I may not always respond because I get a lot of messages, but it's always welcome. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much for your time too. Always a pleasure to chat with you, my friends. And if you want to have more interviews, we have them over at theScore esports.com. Make sure to check them out. And next time.